plant people, I'm Jess and welcome to another video where I try to teach you something. Today we're gonna be talking about semi-hydro. See, I'm totally prepared. Okay, so full disclaimer, I've clearly prepared more than the last time I made a video, but my phone is literally taped with electrical tape and tied with an electrical wire to a tripod, which is also taped together because it's standing on a couch that's covered in cushions because it's super echoey in here. So I have no idea what the screen looks like because I can't really see. There is a mirror so I can kind of see, but not really. And I won't be able to stop and look at the footage. So I have no idea how it's gonna look or how it's gonna turn out. So yeah, let's see. And just to give you, I'm gonna see if this works. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm working with, and a bunch of cushions to catch the echo. So hopefully this works. So today I wanted to do a video about semi-hydro because the last time I did a video about water wicks and how they work, and I got quite a few questions about semi-hydro and the differences. And again, let me just say, when I say I got a lot of questions, it's not like I'm getting thousands of questions. I'm not pretending that's the case. But when you have to answer the same question over and over again, you kind of think, fuck it, I'll just make a video and see if that works. So that's why we're here, and we're going to do a video about semi-hydro. So first of all, what is semi-hydro? So semi-hydro or semi-hydroponics is a word that's sort of, or phrase that's thrown around in the plant community. And it's basically when you have a plant in non-organic soil. So today we're going to put a plant in leca, which is these little balls. They're expanded clay aggregate, light expanded clay aggregate, I believe. And it's a non-organic material. But you can have semi-hydro with other kind of substrates. So the idea behind semi-hydro is that there is going to be a reservoir of water, similar to what you saw in my water wick video. But instead of the pot sitting on top of the water and soaking it up through a string, the pot itself is going to be sitting in the water reservoir all the time. And then your non-organic material will constantly stay moist and wick up the water to the top, so the plant is staying in a nice moist environment.
I didn't have a good take of this, but basically it's called semi-hydro, but there is nothing semi about it. It is full hydroponics. It's just a passive form of hydroponics, but that's the name used in the plant community.
So disclaimer, I am by no means an expert on plants or semi-hydro or anything for that matter. So I'm just sharing my opinions and my experiences, but I'm missing a lot of information. So please do not take anything I say as gospel. Go and do your own research, see what works for you. I'm just basically sharing my experiences and what I see with my plants. I've had plants in semi-hydro for, I think, over half a year now, and I have varying experiences with it, but overall I do like it for certain plants. So what you will need to place a plant into semi-hydro is you're going to need a pot. I use clear pots for semi-hydro so I can see the root development. I like clear pots in general, not just for semi-hydro, because you can see the roots, which is really, really nice. You're going to need your non-organic substrate, so like your leca, your perlite, whatever you decide to use. And then you're going to need an outer pot, which you can place the water reservoir in that the pot with leca is going to sit in. Personally, I like using semi-hydro for plants that I've grown from cutting myself. So plants that I've rooted in water. I've also had experience with moving plants from soil to water, but for me that has kind of varying results. So basically, if you are going to move a plant from soil to water, the most important thing is that you have to wash those roots like more than you could ever imagine. Like if you think it's clean, it's not. Clean it again. And then if you think it's clean, it's still not clean. Clean it again. Because if you have any organic material sitting in there and it's constantly wet and it's constantly moist, it is going to cause rot and it's going to give you root rot and your plant is going to die. I can personally say this has happened to me on 2 occasions. So the first time I tried to do semi-hydro, I moved a variegated zebrina into semi-hydro. I was feeling super confident. I was like, everybody makes it look super easy. It's going to be fine. It wasn't. The plant rotted, it died, it was middle of winter, the bulbs rotted, they died. And now I saved a tiny piece of bulb and that's growing back, but it doesn't look variegated. So my first experience was a total fail. I also killed an aglaonema putting it into semi-hydro from soil. but I do have plants I have moved from soil to semi-hydro, which are doing fine. So anyway, today I'm going to show you how I put my plants into semi-hydro on one of these plants here. This is 2 cuttings. So this guy here, I don't know if you can see the roots, but yeah, this is him. This is a Monstera esqueleto, which you may know by the former name Monstera epipremnoides, which was never the name, it was just people mis-ID'd it, but it now has a name, Monstera esqueleto. So as you can see, this guy has been rooted in water, so in my opinion, it's perfect to put into semi-hydro because the roots won't get a shock in the new environment. A couple of things to know about semi-hydro. A lot of people who are sort of experts in the field or who know what they're talking about say that they don't see any reason why you should put your plants into semi-hydro. So do bear that in mind. However, my opinion is I really like it because I find that it's, again, less maintenance. It's the same as with the water wicks. You know, if you have a constant reservoir of water, all you have to do is check on it and top it up and from time to time pour it out and refresh it, or at least I do that personally. So it does reduce the maintenance with your plant, and you can also see the roots, see how they're forming. And I do find that certain plants really thrive in semi-hydro. The thing with plant roots is that they don't actually grow in soil, they grow in the space in between. So growing something in something like leca, there's a lot of air in between, there's a lot of space, there's a lot of pores in between where their roots can grow, and yeah, they have no resistance, which is really nice for them. It is really important that if you're going to try semi-hydro, you have to have a really good fertilizer. So everybody knows that I'm like a total fanboy of liquid gold leaf, and I've been using liquid gold leaf for a long time. But for semi-hydro, you need something like that. That is a full fertilizer that's totally water soluble for a number of reasons. So for plants to grow, they don't just need light, like the light helps with the photosynthesis, but for the photosynthesis, like there's minerals and stuff required. Again, I do not know what I'm talking about, so please do not judge me. But anyway, you need a full fertilizer so the plant can get all of the nutrients, all of the minerals that it needs. And if you don't have that and you just stick it in some water with some leca, it's not going to go well. You're going to need an outer pot, an inner pot, your substrate media that you're going to use, good fertilizer, and a plant, and then we're ready to go. So what I do is I take my substrate, in my case leca, and I go and I wash it like really thoroughly. So I took some videos the last time I prepared leca, and hopefully I can put them in, but they might not be on my phone, so if they're not, they're sorry. So yeah, you take your leca, and I usually put it in a colander and I wash it off really well. This is really dirty. It's covered in dust, it's covered in crap from the garden center or wherever you get it from, and you don't want that in the water, because usually what causes burning on your roots or root rot, well, burning in general, is like salts in the water, and when your leca is dirty, you're basically going to overload it on top of your fertilizer as well. So you're going to rinse it really well, and then I personally boil it, and I just throw it in a pot, I start boiling it, I turn it on low, leave it boiling, walk away for an hour, and then come back. So I don't know what the right amount of time is, but again, I just want to clean it super well. It's important to know that technically, if you want to do semi-hydroponics correctly, you should be measuring your EC, which is your electrical current, I think, or electrical charge or something, in your water. And you should already know the pH of your water, and you should know what minerals are already in your water, because technically you can overload your plant, and if you have a really high EC or like a really bad pH and then you add your fertilizer on top of it, that can like completely go into imbalance and kill your plant. Now, what liquid gold leaf claims, and it has worked for me, is that it's EC balanced and pH balanced, so basically you can just use it and there won't be an issue. So yeah, I've spoken to Ian from LGL about this, and he's basically explained how it works with like the salts and minerals and why liquid gold leaf is good to go. But I do not remember, and I'm not going to attempt to put it in this video, but if you want to know the specifics, get in touch with me and I can copy and paste the messages, or see if Ian wants to explain it to you guys. So you've cleaned your leca, you've boiled it, you've rinsed it again, it's ready to go. Your plant has been rooted in water, so let's just do this. Basically, what I do is, yeah, I'm gonna have a second pot so I can do this in front of you. Also, you should know these little dicks like to roll around your house, and when you step on them, it's horrible. It's like stepping on Lego, and if you have a boyfriend, he's gonna hate you for it. But you know, that's a part of plant ownership, is pissing off the people you live with. Unless you're one of the lucky ones whose partner also likes plants. So, to start off, you're going to leave about 1/3 of the leca in the water, and on this pot, you won't be able to see, but there's a line around it, and that's kind of what I use. And then you're going to put it in your outside pot. Now, if you are smart and you want to do this properly, what you can do is you fill it with water to this level, and then when the water is at the level of the leca, so you fill it with water until it touches the top of the leca. And then you're going to take the pot out. You're going to check how much water is in here, and you're going to mark it with like a permanent marker. So then you know what the max amount of water you can have in there is. The idea behind having a max amount of water is you don't really want the roots sitting in water all the time. You want the roots living in this top section of the media. To be perfectly honest with you, I just eyeball this most of the time, and I do have roots growing down into the water that I like to take them out, lift them back up. But I haven't found any terrible reason for the roots sitting in water. I haven't had any issues with it, to be honest. Especially because the plants I'm using have already been rooted in water. That's maybe the case why it's not such a shock to them. So yeah, you're going to mark the level of water that you're going to need. And then if you want, you can already mix your solution and put it in the pot. I'm not going to do that because, as I mentioned, I can't move my camera, so this is all you're getting. And you're going to take your cutting or your plant that you've cleaned off really, really well, and you're just going to plop it in here, and then you're going to take more leca and you're going to fill it in. So cute. Okay, so that's it. And then now, I really should have taken a saucer that was clean. I bet you can see how filthy it is. Anyway, now you can pop it in here and either fill it up with your water or you already did in the previous step. And that is it, my friends. That is how we put a cutting into semi-hydro. I know, amazing. Okay, so a couple of things that you should know about semi-hydro. Some of the reasons why people use it is it gets rid of fungus gnats, so they can't get into the soil. There's no soil for them to lay eggs in, so you don't have fungus gnats. Because I have a mixture of soil and semi-hydro, I still have a gazillion fungus gnats, but that is one of the reasons people like to use semi-hydro. If you want some accounts, YouTube or Instagram, that have really, really great information about semi-hydro or who grow a lot in semi-hydro, just send me a message or leave a comment and I can link you to some of them, because there's people out there who are way more knowledgeable about this than me. For me, the main reason that I use it, as I mentioned, is because it's less work and less maintenance. It keeps the relative humidity a bit higher. This I've tested with my hydrometers and it does make a difference, but it's not gonna, you know, fix your humidity issues if your house is super dry. But essentially it is like a giant pebble tray. So, you know, people do say to use those for raising humidity, so it does work. Personally, I haven't had too many downsides to using semi-hydro. A couple that I can think of is moving plants incorrectly and then they die. So do bear that in mind and do think about which plant you're going to try this with or how you want to do it, or maybe go the safe route and go with something that you've rooted in water yourself. Also, a recent downside that I've seen is I've only been messing around with semi-hydro since just before winter. So now that spring, summer is here, I recently found some baby mosquitoes growing in one of my water pots. And I know that is disgusting and I'm very sorry, but it is the case. I really, really hate mosquitoes. I get bit all the time, so it's not something that I'm happy about at all. And to be honest, I would pick fungus gnats over mosquitoes any fucking day. But yeah, it is what's happening. So I'm basically just swapping the water reservoir quite often to make sure that if there's any little like squirmy, wormy mosquitoes in there, ow, that, yeah, they can't grow into adult mosquitoes. I realized I had this sitting behind me, which was not on purpose, but I'm just going to do a shameless plug for Liquid Gold Leaf. This is the fertilizer that I use for everything. I use it on all my plants in soil, water wick. I use it as a foliar spray. I think it's the tits, and basically it's perfect for semi-hydro because of the reasons I mentioned. So you need to use 0.5 ml of this per liter of water in your semi-hydro plants. You get a lovely little pipette with it, so it's easy to measure, and it lasts a really long time, and the plants thrive with it. I also use, I should spin it around. Oh no, it has a label on both sides. Would you look at that? It works for little blondes like me as well. Okay, so I also use Liquid Gold Leaf for rooting my cuttings. So I put like a drop into the water, and basically, again, I don't know what I'm talking about, but because it's like fully soluble, you can't really cause harm to your plant, so you can't burn the roots or anything like that. All that'll happen is the water kind of goes a little bit milky in a day, and like a film forms on the top, so then you're like, oh shit, I used too much. Empty it out, do it again, do a little bit less. But I find that my plants root so much quicker, they grow so much quicker, so I really like it for cuttings. And then when they go into semi-hydro, they still get Liquid Gold Leaf, they just get a bit of extra. One thing you want to make sure of if you are going to use semi-hydro is you'd never want the water reservoir to go dry, because basically then your substrate dries out really quickly and your plant will dehydrate and die super fast. So do bear that in mind. You do need to make sure that your water reservoir is full. And again, the same as with the water wicks. For me, this is like one of those things that in a hypothetical scenario where I go and travel the world, my plants can kind of look after themselves, because you could essentially put them in a much bigger water reservoir, and then they can take care of themselves for a longer while. So that is also a reason why I like it for the hypothetical scenario where I leave my house. Ever. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope I was able to teach you something. If you have any other questions about me, my plants, semi-hydro, water wicks, whatever it is, just send me a message or leave a comment, and I'll try my best to answer them. Hopefully see you next time, if there is a next time. Bye bye. Just for like a blooper reel, I'm gonna like stop this and like tape my phone off, but I'm going to maybe record it and see if it works. All right, let's give it a go. This is terrifying. I'm really scared my phone's gonna fall. Okay. This is so silly. Okay. There's also a piece of paper that was like pushing the camera into the right location. Ooh! It's like a Blair Witch Project. Free at last! Free at last.